Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Rachak Kodash, to our honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, to us, say Shalom, Nasharah, Shalom. All right, this is going to be, really brief. I was listening to, one of the elders' lessons there, and while I was listening, I actually pulled this up. I really pulled up a different question. The stats of mass shootings between 2024. Well, I put it as in how many terrorist attacks and or mass shootings have occurred between 2024 and 2025, somewhere around there. That was the question. Okay, and then when I got the results, I pulled from the results and reformed a separate question. And it says, how many of the 302 mass shootings in America in 2025 were committed by so-called whites, all right, white people, all right, which the white people of the earth are those known as Edomites in the Bible, and one of their chief branch houses are the Amalekites. Okay, if you don't know who the Amalekites are, those are the Israelis living in the state of Israel, right? They're the Amalekites. There's a chief house of Esau, Edom, Esau being the Edomites, aka the so-called white people of the earth. So I put this question in here from the results that came up. And it says, as of August 31st, 2025, there have been 309 mass shootings in the United States in 2025, resulting in 302 fatalities, 1,354 wounded individuals. Now, the result for 2024 was like, I believe it was like 500 or 600 something. Can't remember. But I wanted to, just kind of generalize that. I'm about to say commercial. Generalize this question here. About Esau. So it says, while the provided data from Statista indicates that between 1982 and August 2025, 84 out of 155 mass shootings, 54% were carried out by white shooters. Now, for all we know, that number is probably way higher, but they try to justify it by saying, well, it's such a wide range of dates from 1982 to 2025, but I didn't ask about 1982 to 2025. I asked about 2025, and still, the results come up as majority number being so-called whites, Edomites. Okay, says yep, were carried out by white shooters, and the Rockefeller Institute of Government's updated fact sheet through June 6, 2025 states that 55.6% of perpetrators in mass public shootings since 2023 were white. So now the date is as the window of dates is smaller, and you have a greater number, okay, of perpetrators being Edomites. Not much percentage there, 54%. Moves up to 55.6%. So not much of a difference, but a difference nonetheless, right? The exact number of the 309 mass shootings in 2025 that were committed by white individuals is not explicitly stated in the provided information. See how they try to always throw a monkey wrench in there, and notice how they put it in bold writing so it really stands out, like, but okay, but no, we know what the truth is, man. Most of these shootings that happen are predominantly so-called whites, man. The available data on shooter demographics from Statista covers a broader period. See, so we mentioned 1982 to August 2025, and the Rockefeller Institute's data on perpetrator characteristics for 2023 present 2023 to present is a percentage of a smaller subset of mass public shootings. Not all mass shootings are defined by the Gun Violence Archive. So they're trying to clean it up for Esau, but he still has majority numbers. It is important to note that different organizations use varying definitions for mass shooting, which can affect the reported numbers. For instance, the Gun Violence Archive defines a mass shooting as an incident where 4 or more people, excluding, all right, meaning not including the perpetrator, the person that did the shooting, so not including that person, excluding the perpetrators, are shot in one location at roughly the same time. The Rockefeller Institute of Government defines a mass shooting as targeted violence by one or more shooters at public or populated locations, with multiple victims, injuries, and fatalities chosen at random or for symbolic value. occurring within a single 24-hour period and excluding gang violence or targeted military terrorist activity. So they put all these things together, all right, and this is how we define it. No, you gotta break these things up in smaller categories, man. But you see what they're trying to do here. General trends, general trends in mass shootings indicate that perpetrators tend to be white. Light it up, okay? Let me get all of it. General trends in mass shootings indicate that perpetrators tend to be Edomites and overwhelmingly male. A survey conducted in January 2024 found that 62.78% of respondents were white. You see? Because when you go back to the numbers of 2024, there was a greater number. I think it's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, like 500 plus or 600 plus, but you get the point. Um, Yes, as a survey conducted in January 2024 found that 62.78% of respondents were white, and among those directly exposed to a mass shooting, black respondents reported higher rates of being. Hold on. A survey conducted in January 2024 found that 62.78%, basically 63%, of respondents were white, and among these directly exposed to a mass shooting, black respondents reported higher rates of being present compared to white respondents. So mass shootings carried out by white shooters were the predominant number, the majority numbers, and the victims being so-called blacks, basically tribe of Judah, or it could be West Indian Haitians, Benjamin and Levi. Okay, so are these racially charged? Okay, or are these random attacks? Are these set up? Are they false flag? Or like um, yeah, compared to white respondents, though there were no racial or you see how they threw that there in the end, but there were no racial or ethnic differences in injuries sustained. It doesn't matter. You know what? Let's do something real quick. Let's see what they do if we change this to blacks. I want to see what they're gonna say if we change this to blacks. Oh, let me get my button out the way. There we go. See if we can just point out here what it says. Look, check this out. It says the period between, I'm right here, so you can follow along if you want to. The period between 1982 and August 2025, stating that out of 155 mass shootings, 26 were carried out by black perpetrators. 26 compared to Esau, who was above the halfway threshold. Okay, 55 to 56%. This historical data indicates that black individuals were the perpetrators in approximately 17%. That's whopping. Okay, Esau's numbers compared to so-called blacks, right, of mass shootings within that specific time frame. But what do you always hear on the local news, all right, or sometimes world news, all right? It's always Jake up there. Jake did this, Jake did that. Jake was the worst. Jake's the most criminal. Jake moving all the drugs. Everything else, it's always Jake, right? But then when you look at the statistics, okay, Esau always leads. Let's see what else. Same thing here. General trends indicate that while white shooters have historically accounted for the largest percentage of mass shootings, 54%, okay, racial distribution of mass shootings broadly reflects the U.S. population. And it says it broadly reflects the U.S. population, so it's not even. So I'm guessing they're not even pulling worldwide stats. These is U.S. stats. So imagine worldwide. It'd probably be up there like 86%, man. If some of this is both the same, let's see what this says. Um, the majority of firearms used in used in U.S. mass shootings are obtained legally. So, yeah, because Esau left their guns. All right, especially down in Texas, if I'm correct, they will the carry. I mean, some places got open carry, and because gun laws changes and they all vary from state to state. In particular gun laws, pertaining handguns, rifles, things of that nature. So Is state to state is different, right? So no state is going to be just exactly the same. And you leave from one state and go to the next state, and you might be in violation, uh, pertaining to your handgun in another state where you weren't in violation in your home state. So that's just how it works, right? Because state laws. The majority of firearms used in U.S. mass shootings are obtained legally. Mass shootings are most likely to occur in workplaces and school. See, workplaces because they're disgruntled, in school because they're just demons. Right, with handguns being the most commonly used weapons, perpetrators are overwhelmingly male, as it's stated in the last thing, and this is why, man. Let me see here. Yeah, we already in Genesis, and I want 27, man. This is exactly why Esau does these things, okay? Because he's the devil of the earth. Um, I want right here at 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live. Okay, ancient swords, knives, spears. Okay, into modern day swords, bullets. Okay, and then to a heightened level of these modern day swords, which would be their little rockets that they shoot, their tanks and stuff like that. Okay, and then the ultimate sword is their missiles and stuff like that, nuclear bombs and all these things. By thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. Okay, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. But the key thing I wanted there, it says, by thy sword shalt thou live. We just talked about this in Revelation. Uh, it had to be 13. 13. I believe it was 13. See if I can find it. Yep. And he exercised Revelation 13:12. He exercised all the power of the first beast before him, which is the ancient Roman Empire. So it's talking about Babylon the Great, America the West, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily wound was healed. See, ancient Rome fell, pagan Rome. It came back up in the Renaissance period, and then America is a result of those things today. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Now I know we're talking about bombs in this particular scripture, but I just want to get to the extent of the height of his sword. Okay, but we can scale back a little bit and go to Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse symbolizing strength and power, that was red. All right, tagging right in directly with Esau Edom. When you go back to Genesis 25th chapter, Esau came out red all over, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. See, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, and we'll end off on this one. Like I said, I just want to some random thoughts that I decided to pick up on it. Job, going past to chapter 9 and 24. Okay, Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who is he? Okay, um, and that's just what he does. As a matter of fact, let me see. Let's end on this one. I believe that's in Psalms. So, is that Psalm 17? Let me pull it up. If not, I'll punch it up. Um, yep, the water Yahweh Shalom Shah. Check this out. Verse 11. We just start right here. No, we what? Let's start at verse 9. No. Let's start at verse 8. Psalm 17 and 8. Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Because we're in a time period where that great persecution is about to come down. As said in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, the devil's going to come down with great wrath. Okay? And you see Nero, what he's doing, he's blaming everything, right, on the Israelites, just like he did in ancient times in his previous life. Under the shadow of thy wings, from the wicked that oppress me, which is mainly Esau, Edom, in this particular captivity, but all the heathen nations, man. Psalm 83rd chapter. From my deadly enemies, see, who can pass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly. Because they have the fatness of the earth. They have all these riches and goodly things. And we are, meanwhile, oppressed, stereotyped, and constantly pressed down. Okay? They have now compassed us in our steps. That's what they're doing with the northern kingdom, and they're headed towards the southern kingdom now. Right? Persecuting the Israelites. They have now compass us in our steps, and with the federalization of the troops is how he's carrying these things out. We're going to send the troops, okay, to pull their car. They started with ICE. Now it's moving over to the federalization of the troops, and it's about to spread to the southern kingdom. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bound down to the earth, like a lion that is greedy of his prey. All right, like when you see a lion right there in the prairie in the wildlands, he'll put his face down close to the grass, like most big cats do. Okay, because they try to blend in with their environment, and you'll see their eyes, and then he springs out. Right, he just springs forward into an attack. Okay, pounce. That's the word I was looking for. He pounces on his prey, and that's what he's about to do to us Israelites. He's about to pounce on us. Okay, because we are his prey. But the Lord will deliver his elect, like a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were, a young lion lurking in secret. And that's what it says in Nahum 3, man. All right, that the prey departed not. Let me get that real quick. I'll come back to this. We'll close it off. I know I said it was going to be short, but sometimes you just got to get it. Hold on. Woe to the bloody city, talking about Babylon the Great. It is full of all lies and robbery. The prey departed not. We're the prey. He opened not the house of his prisoners. He didn't tell us who we are. Revelation 11:8. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. All this hustle and bustle is going on in this great city, Babylon the Great. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none in of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. And what does it say? Um, he, man, you do condemn and kill it the just, and he do it not resist you. I believe that's the one that's in James. All right. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sell nations through their whoredoms, through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. See? But the Lord is gonna show their shame, right? First they have to do what they have to do, what they've been set up to do. So it says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places, arise, O Yahweh Bashem Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Yeah, because like we said in Revelation 12:12, it says he's going to come down with great wrath. But Isaiah 59:19 says that when he comes down with that army and his perpetual anger and that wrath, the Lord's going to lift up a standard for the hopeful elect, all right, and deal with this devil finally once and for all. From men which are thy hand, because he's the left hand, Yahweh Shai is their right hand, Esau is the left hand, okay? Well, really, Satan is the left hand, but Esau is the one who operates, after the workings of Satan. Okay, from men which are thy hand, O Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, from men of the world which have their portion in this life. We go into all that substance. We read a portion of their substance, so we can get another chapter in Psalms 8. Psalms, I think it's 82. I always get it mixed up, something like that. One of those chapters of Psalms, I believe it's 72. But we also read the blessing, right, where it all started in Genesis 27th chapter. Okay, who has their portion in this life. And Job speaks about it. All right, where they pass down the substance to their babes, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I wake with thy likeness. All right, so all we got to do, like the scripture says, is wait upon the Lord, because the devil's going to do what the devil's going to do. As I always used to say, let them do what they're going to do, because they're going to do it anyways. That's what they were set up for. But just, I want to put up those little interesting stats there, man. Okay, and which, like I said, the percentage is probably higher, but you know how it is, So I'll leave it at that. Lord, will you edify Shalom?